We sit down like that already. I'm not that old.
Okay.
Probably the beep, skilly set. Alright, we got some lights are on. We're good. 20 seconds in.
So what topic are we talking about today?
We're actually going to discuss all the ways that people can get into different areas.
Sorry, go ahead.
of investing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What are small things that they can do now? And I figured we start with you, since you know more about stocks. What are 3 things that people could do
on the spot
if they were interested in getting into stocks and options and all that good stuff?
I would tell people first, which is not something they're gonna like, and I think it's good for anybody, is simply looking at your money and figuring out where you can cut costs there. Because you need to figure out, because if you want to jump into stocks, a lot of people hit me up, they'll message me, they'll call me or whatever, and then, man, what can I do? What's the first stock I need to invest in? And this and that. And that's all good. I can tell you which one to say, hey, try this out or try that out. But if you're not going to consistently deposit money into whatever brokerage you're using, and you're not going to consistently, buy that stock or invest in that stock, or at least partially buy this stock, it's almost useless to even try to. So I tell people, you need to free up money first. Like,
and how much would you say?
Any amount. So, like, for me, when I first started stocks, like when I worked at Amazon and they gave me stocks, I didn't know what I had no clue. Amazon really got me started on investing in stocks, because when they gave me stocks, when they hired me
so they helped you, is what you're saying?
Amazon, I would say, don't make it. Amazon has helped me by the way of the Lord. That's what I would say. Amazon has helped me.
Yes. Much supplication.
But like when they hired me on, when they gave me stock, it made me want to be like, yo, like what am I doing with this?
Yeah.
What is this even for? And so then when I went to go research it, I'm like, oh, Amazon stock is at $1,000 and blah blah blah. Like, what does that mean? Oh, I can sell this and just take the money?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna still make me pay taxes on this too.
Yeah.
I should just leave it in there for more than a year. So all these things started popping up in my head, like, man, this is great. How do I go buy some more of this? And so then I started studying how to figure out how to buy more. So then when it was time to buy more, it's like, I gotta use my money? Like, I can't use Amazon money for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't use somebody else's money. Oh, I gotta use my money. So then I started figuring out ways to actually get extra money, because I was already up to my limit on bills and everything else.
Of course.
And so it's like, well, are you really up to your limit? No. You need to cut out some things. So when I started cutting out, eating out every week, and I was like, yo, if I'm spending $10 or $20 every day on lunch and dinner and breakfast, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
it started at Starbucks at 5 a.m. and we just spent money all day.
Like, when you're outside, you just keep spending money, spending money.
I am anti-outside right now.
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, let's just say you had a 5-day work week, you spending $20, $30 a day, you already passed $100.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I didn't go cold turkey and say, I'm not eating no fast food or out.
Life would be like,
I was like, look, if I can take 1 to 2 meals each day to work, or not spend it on any, going out or fast food, then I can use that $25-$50 and throw it in there. So that's what I started doing. And so I would just.
So you're saying somebody could start with $25 and start investing monthly,
easily,
but it can't just be like $25
because
here.
It can,
and
you can
a
put
year later. Here's $25.
It can be that. Just don't expect it to grow much.
Okay. No, I'm saying because people ask, and people constantly are reaching out for that information and that knowledge. And the first thing you say is, you can start as low as $50 or $25 or $10. But if you don't add in that piece of consistency and continuing to invest and
what's going
research,
to happen is you're going to quit.
Of course.
You're going to quit because you're going to see
it's like, man,
your
I
money.
put $75 in, and I was supposed to be rich at the end of the year.
And that's
Cory got me messed up.
No, but see, that's exactly what they do too. They blame it on you. Like, hold on, Cory got me losing money.
Oh,
like, nah. First of all, you need to make sure it's money that, hey, if it can't disappear in a heartbeat, don't be putting it in there because the stock market can go up and down, up and down, up and down. So really, honestly, if I'm being 100% transparent, make sure the money that you're putting in is money that you don't mind losing if it happens to be that way. Yeah. But again, you need to free up money. If you're not freeing up money, you're going to quit. You're going to put $10, $20 in this week, maybe next week because you're happy and you feel good and you're hyped. And then the next month you ain't putting nothing. The next month you ain't putting nothing. And you look at your account, you're like, oh my God, $70 in there and it's been 6 months. Well, that's because you're not consistently putting money into your account. So
I am people, if you're wondering. I invested into stocks consistently for a year, and then I got out of it and got into real estate. And like I turned my back on stocks, like I just didn't look. And then I was like, this thing barely grows. Now it's like I wasn't active in the market, but at the same time, if I look over the long span of what I had been putting in, like. When you started talking to me about stocks, I started putting in like hundreds a month. Like I was like all in on what this is going to be. And I had put in a little over 1,000 and it had grown to 3,000 right when everything was good. But like I wanted that same growth next year, but I didn't put in that additional investment. Like maybe if I had put in another 1,000, I could have gotten another, 2 additional 1,000 on top of that, but I didn't. And I look, at this little measly, it ain't even growing no more, but I hadn't done anything.
Any growth is good growth, though.
Yeah, it is true. It's true. But I remember like walking past you in the mines and being like, hey, what stock was you talking about? Or what was the ticker symbol? And I looked it up and I told myself, whatever $125 can buy is what I'm going to buy. Yeah. I looked and something was like $14. I was like, I don't know, I'm going to just keep adding one until it gets up to close to 125.
Which
I was like, okay,
good.
And then I bought those and I moved on. But then, you left and then, I got into real estate and I stopped looking at it. And I think that one thing that really would have pushed me, that was probably like 5 years ago.
Like 2018-ish?
Yeah.
2018.
If I had done that consistently every year, maintained that growth, that stock account would look real different right now.
Real different. And even though the market is down, the money that you put in and you allow it to grow from wherever you bought from, it's still going to grow. Like it's going to catch back up sooner. Like it's like real estate. It's like you got to be in there. Yeah, you got to be in there for the long haul. When you see it go down, that means really when people see it go down, they run. Like they run. Like I got to get my money up out of here. And I got to go do something else. But really, in all honesty, because that's how I was when I first started. Like, dang, I put in $3,000. Now I only got $1,800. I'm taking my money out because I'm losing. Not understanding. Oh well, let me buy more since it's lower. So when it goes back up, you done doubled your money, tripled your money, whatever the case is. And so I think people have to look at it in the same way they look at anything that they're investing in, whether it's real estate, stocks, a business. You've got to put the work in to actually see it grow. It's not a get-rich scheme.
Get rid of half the people that were interested.
They've already left the chat. They've left the chat. Once I said that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, they've already left the chat. So it's just like, what? I can't make $1 trillion off of $5? I'm out. I don't want it no more.
Man.
So it really is being consistent in it.
Consistently.
Because you have to, because your mind's going to tell you, I put this money in, but I'm not, like you said, like I'm not seeing it grow now, because you didn't put it in consistently. So then what's going to make you do is going to make you quit. And it's going to make you say, I'm just going to take my money out and go buy me these cheeseburgers that I wanted in the first place.
Exactly.
I skipped over all those meals for nothing. Now I'm going to just shrimps and steak.
I definitely did take that money out. I think I decided... I don't know if I remember telling myself I couldn't take that money out and just buy something. So it either had to be like a family trip or it had to be like something towards real estate. I haven't gone on a trip, so I'm guessing I used that money.
But then that's good.
I'm disciplined to an extent when it comes to my finances. It's the rest of my life that doesn't happen.
The rest of my life is chaos. Like, when it comes to finances, I'm good. But if you're gonna take it out and put it into something else that you're investment worthy, then it's always good. But I think everybody has their lane, right? Like some people love stocks and they'll use some of that money to put into real estate. Some people love real estate and they'll put some into stocks. Some will do neither. I think it's a supplement for either or. Like if you're doing real estate but you like stocks, you can still take some of that money out that you invested and put in there and vice versa. But the thing is, no matter what it is, just like a company or a business that you create or, real estate portfolio that you create, you got to be consistent with it. Yeah. And if you're not consistent with it, then again, it's not going to grow. It's not going to do anything. If you don't
Are there options for an autopilot kind of stop? Like if I'm like, okay, I'm in it for the long haul, but I'm not trying to get my toenails dirty deep in this foolishness. Like, is there somewhere I can put my money monthly, and even if it is just as small as $25, is there a way that will invest for me or?
Well, yes and no. Like people are looking, and because I've looked as well for these bots
I'm
that will.
I'm asking for a friend.
Not you personally, just a friend.
I'm asking for a friend. Like, this question came in.
This question just in, but yeah, like you look for those bots that if I put in $100, the bot can put it in the perfect stack to make it grow and all that. And there's stuff that's out there that I haven't officially tested all things, but for the most part, the things I have tested is trash. Okay. Now, I'm not saying there isn't stuff out there that you can probably use, but as of right now, they haven't created. Maybe because AI is on the rise.
Oh yeah.
There may be some things that are created, here in the future. But I will say, invest in the companies that you like, and that way, the stuff that you already like or that you wear, that you buy from, then it's going to automatically be something that you're willing to be okay with. It's going to be something that you're going to be like, oh, well, you know what? Like my kids, I have custodial accounts for my kids. And what I put in there for the kids is something that'll, over time, this has always been steady, which is Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Company. It's always been steady. It's always grown, but it doesn't grow at a crazy pace. And I'm okay with that because I don't have to mentally watch it every single day to make sure, is this growing? Is this losing money? Is this growing? Coca-Cola is a great company over the time that it's been created to now. So I can put that money in each week or each month. Auto draft will be your best friend because then you won't think about it, you won't miss it. It's not something that's
like. To make us responsible adults, but
I'm just saying right. Look, auto draft will make you responsible because oh man, this money is coming out, and I got to figure out how to make sure my budget meets.
I don't know if it's just Chase Bank. Call them if you want to, baby.
I'm sorry, this is locked in forever. Like seriously, and so if you auto draft. Let's just say you auto draft $25 a week, and that's $100 a month without even thinking about it. And so you auto draft it into whatever company that you feel comfortable with. Okay. Do you wear a lot of Nikes? Do you wear a lot of Adidas? Do you have an Apple iPhone? Do you have an Apple MacBook? Yeah. If you do, start there. Start investing in places that those companies have been around. Those companies are going to grow because that's just something that's real popular. That's something that's been around for a while, and it's going to grow just based off of what they're doing over the span of time. So for you, for me, for anybody, where I started is what got me there in the first place was Amazon. And you don't have to buy full shares. Like it's not like, I got to figure out how to find $1,000. Yeah. You just find partial shares. There's brokerages. Who
sells partial shares? Everybody or?
Not everybody. I don't know if TD Ameritrade has jumped on board or not to do partial share. I think they have, but don't quote me on that. I know Robin. I'm just saying people start counting. No, they don't. You don't know what they're talking about. But Robinhood has, Webull has, and those are just some brokerages names that you can use on your phone.
And they allow you to buy partial shares. So I can buy Apple, $7 worth of Walt Disney. You can. And I can have 1/1,000,000th of a share.
You can. I don't know if it equates to 1/1,000,000, but
that's what it feels.
Whatever. If Apple shares are $200 or Elon, what's Elon's? Tesla. If Tesla, because this year started out, Tesla started out at like 100 something, and then it shot up to $200-$300. Yeah. So even if you bought $5, $10, $20 a share, now you're up. You're still up on and so it doesn't have to be a full amount, and you can spread it out over, just depending on what you want to buy. But I would say start it.
I love that.
Don't do that. That's what it was. I love that. I love that. But yeah, like seriously, if you can just get in your mind, I'm going to auto draft. is going to be in there each week or each month. I'm going to sacrifice a meal here or a pair of shoes here and there, and I'm just going to let it go into the account because you won't think about it. Then you'll look up.
Are we talking kids or Nikes? I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Kids are still out there.
Are they?
They'll never go away.
I don't know what's that. I don't know who owns kids. I don't know who owns it.
That's a great question. That stock is probably steady. Yeah, they've been in the game.
That's like what Reebok and Fila and all. I don't even know who owns them. But either way, what I'm saying is, as long as you stay consistent with it, and if you can't stay consistent with it, let the auto draft make you consistent in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just gonna get taken out, and you won't even worry about it. Yeah. Auto draft on low amounts, you won't worry about it. You won't miss.
It's just like Netflix.
Like
I don't know how much I pay.
I don't even know what it's up to. Look, each year they're like, Netflix is going up in there, and I'm like, how much is it? Like, what's the new amount? And
how much more did it go up from before?
And every year I'll look to try to see. Every once in a while, and I'll try to see like where are they taking this money out of? I can't find it. Like I don't see it on my bank statement.
I don't know that I paid it. Like I just know that I still have it.
I still got Netflix, so they must take it out at some point.
They must be. I don't know, or maybe the amount is so much larger than what I think it should be that I'm not looking at those numbers.
No, it can't be $600.
I started at $7.99.
I can tell you, it's definitely past $7.99 for sure. I
bought it when it was $7.99 a month.
It's got to be like above 15. It's probably in the 20s, and I don't even know it.
So I don't know. That's one of those things where, like, yeah, Cory, we're taking your money and we're buying stocks.
That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. They're investing it everywhere else too. Of course,
but that's one of those things where I would feel comfortable with that small of a subscription, where I would feel comfortable doing that. So that was 3 really good things. 1, budget. 2, do it consistently. Yeah, it is. It is.
Again, consistently, you don't have to do it every week yourself. Yeah. Just auto draft it, and all those auto things will just make it easier for you to not have to think about, right? And you can just move on. But yes, consistency, budget, and I don't mean a huge budget, just something that's basic.
Like, whatever allows you to carve out that $15 a week, $50 a month, $25 a month.
Exactly.
$10 a month. Like, this is something that what's really great is that you could do this as a team. So I don't know if you had to do this in high school, but we had to get like $20 from our parents and invest it in the stock market.
We did, but we didn't do it in high school. And I'm going to tell you, we did it in middle school, and we didn't do it by phones and technology. Yeah. We had to. That's when all the stocks were printed out in newspapers, and you had to go look at all the different percentages and all this kind of stuff and really understand what stocks was, which is why I was like, I'll never do stocks because it was the worst. It was the worst way to do stocks.
The newspaper hanging from our dry erase board, and so we could do the purchases. And I don't remember how it was set up, but we did it on a computer. But like, you would know what stocks you purchased, and so you'd run in for the day and check
where it said.
Like you were so excited. I remember being excited about it, but it stopped there. Like it was something that we covered for like 2 weeks.
And that's a crime. Even for me, like even though it sucked. Like man, what is this newspaper like? As long as you would have been considered, like if the teachers or if there would have been a class where it's like, no, this is what we do every week, you would have got into it more and understood it more. And by the time you hit your 20s and your 30s, you'd be like, oh, I'm selling. Like, I got so much money now. Like, but
what age would you start giving your son money to invest into the market?
My son is 7 now, and I want him to do it now, but he's still trying to learn how to. So at home, it's like, okay, you got a savings, you got an investment, then you got to give. So right now, it's just kind of like trying to get him to understand what pieces to put in your little buckets. And I want him to understand
like to give?
No. Really? No kid like.
Andrew loves to give. It's almost annoying because like I was like, because sometimes I need like my cash and then he'll be like, oh, Mom, those people on the corner, they need money. And I'll be like, cool, well, you can hand them something.
You have a gift then.
Don't hand them my 20. I don't
20 to you, sir. Like,
to you, ma'am. To you,
don't
young
worry.
girl.
We've got many homes. But But see that may be different because now he's operating off of like a abundance mindset.
Yeah, we'll call it that. We'll call it that.
You from the old school a little bit like, I grew up without. Your son ain't grew up without, so it's a different. Yeah,
like let's give them some because we got enough. Like
not my son. No,
he doesn't want it.
Hey, I gotta go get this Spider-Man. Like
it could also be because he has a sibling, like, and so there's stuff that he has to share automatically.
That's automatic.
So there's. Imagine not having to ever share anything. So when somebody needs something, you come from this heart of giving.
Yeah, him and his sister like, wow. What? Nah, you're gonna give me my Spider-Man. Like it's gonna be on and popping. So yeah, it's right now. I would say 9 and 10 is probably a good area because they're really starting to understand the concept of money.
Okay,
like they really get it. You could do it earlier. I mean, there's some smart kids out there.
I just don't know if it's. I don't know if I would give them stocks that early, but I also don't understand it well enough to know. Like, let me just teach you the basics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you really wanted to teach yourself or anybody the basics, you can just go look at a stock that you already like. That's why I say invest in stuff that you like.
Yeah.
Because then you'll pay attention to it. I like Nike, so I'm going to invest. Like when I buy a pair of shoes, or if I buy 2 pair of shoes, and I know I need to go buy.
Stocks are real estate. They are.
That's okay though. Well, that's okay, but because that's something that interests you and you understand the real estate game, and so that way you can go look at stuff and be like, oh, last year this was at $10. Now it's at $12.
Yeah.
Or 3 years ago, this was at $5, and now it's at $25. And so with that same concept, you can tell your son, like, what, Fortnite? I don't know who owns Fortnite. Not quite sure. I'm sure they know. I'm sure the kids probably know.
They know.
Oh, that's Mr. Xavier.
He got a Fortnite shirt right now. Residuals. Do you hear me?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's something that interests him. Whatever it is, PlayStation, all that kind of stuff. And so,
that would be dope. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And so you can get them to look at it and be like, yo, my stock went up $1 today, or it went down $1, or whatever. And so putting that money in, or teaching them even, because everything's digital now, right? Everything is going digital. Yes, we still have cash, but it's shifting to digital. It's shifting. And so with these kids, like even my kids now, like they'll go up to my big screen and they'll start sliding it up like it's a touch screen. Like, nah, bro, you still gotta use the remote control. You know what I'm saying? Still gotta press some buttons because they're so used to.
What's wrong with this thing? Like, it wasn't made yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. Literally, it wasn't made yesterday by Apple or whoever, Microsoft. So, they think everything is touchscreen and stuff. So since everything is digital, it might not be a bad idea to start figuring out. And I'm sure that right now there's apps out there for kids to where they can get into it right now.
We can look that up and provide that in the next one. Because I think there's some good stuff that we could get kids into now that as adults. So sometimes you become an expert of something when you start having to explain it to other people.
I think that's the only way you really become an expert at it.
I think that would help. Like if people were teaching their family, they would.
If they want to listen.
Yeah, of course.
Go on. Sorry.
They could become more of an expert in it. Because for me, I feel like that would be a fun way to do. Like he likes to save money. He also likes to give money. Like I've handed him $3 to hand a lady, and I rolled the window down. She said, "God bless you." And then he handed me the $3 back. And I was like, "What did you give the lady?" He was like, "She has kids, so I gave her my 5."
That's a special kind
And I was like, "Oh." He was like, "Unless you wanted me to give her this too."
Hell, let's keep on. I'm driving off so fast.
So here's the thing, right? Now I'm like, "Oh yeah, you can give them this too," because I have to match this.
Gotta match that to 401k that he's giving out.
I was like, "Oh yeah, you can give them this too." Like, wow, like he has that. He has that heart. He's always gonna give. So I feel like he's good on that. And I don't ever want to restrict him. And I always. So another thing is like kind of automated is like even giving in church. It's automated. Like we have 8 ways to give in my church. Like you can text, you can online, you can do automatic check, all that stuff, all those options you have. But I feel like sometimes when our kids don't see us give, and then you tell them, "Well, you ain't paying your tithes and offerings." I ain't ever seen you pay no tithes and offerings, but it came automatic out of my account. They're like, "Prove it." I ain't never seen you give, right? And so I try to always have cash for church just because I want him to see the actual act of giving and tithing and offering. even if it's just the offering that I have enough cash for, I'm fine with that. I just want him to keep seeing that. And so I make sure when he has children's church that I also give him money too, because I want him to stay in that habit of giving, because that's how we get. Yeah. That's how we operate in abundance, is by giving. So
that's good. I don't say that. I don't know a kid that likes giving. Just because maybe it's siblings. I don't know what it is. But
I think it might be because that made me real selfish. Yeah. And then I'm the youngest, so all my stuff was hand-me-downs. And I only had sisters, so it's not like I was getting boy hand-me-downs. It was like, no, you're gonna wear this.
But as the youngest gets everything. So I don't know if I can hear you on this podcast crying about hand-me-downs.
Gets everything like what? Hand-me-downs?
All I'm saying is the youngest they don't get in trouble as much. They get more money, birthday money, presents, all that.
That's your parents have earned more money by the time they got to you.
It's like, oh, okay, now we can actually spend by the time since you're the... Absolutely. I don't know. But I get the hand-me-downs because we had hand-me-downs too.
So I was very selfish and I didn't like sharing. And then also my sisters, they will fight and break their stuff or hurry up and eat their stuff, and they come to me like, "Baby, can I have a piece of yours?" And I'm like, "Okay," and then I give them theirs, and then I have none for me. And I eventually got to the point where I was like, "Oh, I'm being played. They don't actually need it." And so now when people ask, I have to check myself because I'm like, "You look able-bodied. I don't know why you can't go out there and get you no job. I'm not giving." And then I tell myself, like, sometimes working is not physical. 99% of the days that I did not go into work, it wasn't because my leg hurt. It was never physical. It was mental, and it was like, I do not have the capacity to fight this fight today. I can't do it. And I would just sit in my car. That makes sense. So I had to check myself because that made me selfish. So I think siblings can definitely contribute to...
I don't know that's selfish to me. Okay. To me, only because how should I say this? Like when you like you've got to take care of yourself. Like you've got to. For example, single mothers. If you're always, I hear it a lot of times, I've got to make sure my kid eats and I've got to make sure they've got clothes and they're mentally well, which is all true. But if you don't take care of yourself first, how do you take care of anybody else? Which is kind of what we talked about on last podcast.
You're not going to be talking about my personal business.
I'm just saying, right? Like,
but it's so true. I'm saying that because I've been finding that recently. My church is actually in a series called Soul Care. And I'm learning that some of the stuff that I say I'm doing for him doesn't benefit him. And so the way you all up in my business right now, it's got to
I just feel like you said, your siblings came and you realize, hold on, I'm getting played. They don't really need this. Yeah. And so you have to reevaluate in life, like, okay, yes, I can give you a couple of dollars. Am I going to give you my whole paycheck? No, because then I get kicked out of my house. I can't pay my car, so I can't get to work. Or my car note, I can't get to work. And then now my kid ain't got nothing, or my kids ain't got nothing to eat, this and that. So it still has to be because I used to feel that way too, like, man, am I giving enough? Yeah. I'm not giving enough. I get this kind of check. But then at the end of the day, you still have to take care of you, and you still have to take care of yours and make sure that they're okay. Because if not, then it's just kind of like, oh, well, then you finna be out there on the street along with them. Exactly. And everybody gonna be looking at you.
And that's not an option. So I can be a lot of things, but I cannot be homeless.
So I'm just saying.
These bugs out in Texas set up. These
bugs in Texas fight you. They stand up like, what's up? Like,
they be squaring up. I have stepped on some and they have stepped back.
They raise your foot up like, yo.
Not around here.
Yo, that's where you stepping at. But yeah, so I mean, I get it. And it's an excellent thing for your son to be doing. And I don't want to say it's selfish to not give, but as a sibling, you got to kind of watch it. Like you get built in. That's like, nah, this mine. Yeah. But at the same time, like, hold on, this is mine for a reason because y'all already had y'all. Like,
yeah, exactly. And see, that's where I would be messed up, or they will be in trouble and be like, all right, you ask, can we go to the beach? And I'm like, cool, because I want to go too. So let me ask. And it was like, they're not having me ask because they want to enjoy the beach with me. Because when we get there, they're gonna go play with each other and leave me by myself. And my parents are gonna be like, "Well, you have to stay up here by the shore because." Yes, and they would just leave me, and I'd be like, "No, I'm not asking this time because last time y'all left without me and wouldn't play with me. You promised we'll play." Like they were desperate. Yeah. So I realized like. You know, and your family's not doing it to like hurt you. Right. They're like your kids. You're trying to manipulate every situation possible. So I was used, and I'm 5 years younger and 7 years younger than my sister. So they're only 2 years apart. And so I was always like just kind of left out. And I was
easy
played. Yeah, I was played, and so now I'm hesitant on that kind of stuff. I'm like, what people want, what do they get out of it first? And I'm like, I hate that part of it, but I think it's good for you to learn because it's also protection. Like you were saying, it's like kind of that guard before you put yourself out, and you didn't cover yourself first.
It's definitely a balance because again, like you said, you can get to the point where like every single person that you give money to or help, it's like, oh, what do you need it for? What is it? And you kind of like, dang, you're going too far. But at the same time, there's people out here who will play you 100%, whether they're homeless or not. Like, oh, I need this, and they don't really need it or whatever. So now it's like, you definitely got to balance that out, because if not, then you get played, or you just extra mean and you ain't giving nobody no money. So, or
it's definitely like a self-check. And I had a friend when I was working at Home Depot, and she told me, she was like, I just got to a point where I got so frustrated trying to figure out who was lying and who wasn't, and people coming out and they were scamming, and this person really needed it, but I had give to somebody else. She said, I would just pray over it before I give, and I'd be like, God, you put it on my heart for me to even think of this, or like, let this money go where you need it to go, and let it help this person, and even if all they do is take this money and run into somebody that they need to meet, like, let it work out in their favor. And I was like, that's a good way to think of it, because you trying to determine whether that person's gonna, go buy alcohol or drugs versus go buy. We need groceries, and it's like, but are you gonna go buy? Like, she was like, I don't worry about that. Like, that's not up to me. Even if they did get it, would it be enough? Because what they're going through mentally to stand on a corner to ask for change, is groceries even enough? And she said she went to a four-way stop, and there was a lady there that was like, she just needs this amount to pay her rent, or her and her kids are going to be evicted. She pulls over, and she's in her Audi, right? So she pulls over, and she's like, how much you need? She was like, did they take a check? Or like, how you want me to get in the car? We're about to go pay them. Pay them. What else do you need? And took care of all kinds of stuff that she needed, the light bill and all this, and gave her some cash, and was like, if you need anything, you call me. Like, she was like, because people, for you to get to that point as a parent where you're on the corner, like, you are desperate. You are in a place where you can't even imagine being. Like, I've had people contact me on social media and tell me that they're in a hard place. Can they have some money?
I've had that happen too, in both manners of they needed it and didn't need it, because I found out later through other people that, okay, you didn't really
that's what you do.
It's just that's just what you do. So I've had good and bad experiences. So now it's just like, you know what? Let me have my friend's mindset and just pray over it and let it do what it does, because I can't control it, and I want to help them. Just set some aside. Like once you set, this week I'm setting $40 aside to give away, whether that's in fives, ones, or all 40 at once. That's what I prayed about, or that's what I decided to set aside, and then once that's gone, whoever it is gonna have to wait till next week or whatever the case is. And so that's what I've done, and it just makes things, like you said, it makes things that much simpler on your mental to be like, this is like a job trying to figure out what y'all trying to do, what you doing this sort. And then movies and all that don't help, because then they be showing homeless people jump into the bean. What is that? What movie is that? Don't Be a Menace or Drink. I think that's one of them. But so it's just kind of like, finally, you know what I'm saying? Finally, you've seen or heard a song that we can actually talk about. But so again, putting money aside or auto drafting it, investing in something that you like. That way you pay attention to it, and then budget small amounts, and that will help you go a long way in the stock market. Because then once you do that, you yourself will start getting into the stock market more. Like, what else can I invest in? What else can I be a part of? What else can I do? And so for kids' age, I would say 9 or 10. Again, there's probably apps and stuff that are out there that you can use for kids to actually, be really invested into what they want to learn about the stocks and whatnot. But 9 or 10, just teaching them the basics of, hey, what do you like? Fortnite. Okay, let's go look on. They know how to use Google better than we do. They know how to use, the internet better than we do. So who owns Fortnite? Let's go see. Type it in. Oh, this person owns Fortnite or this company. All right, so then you can show them, oh, this is how you type in the ticker on your brokerage account. And this is how much it costs.
Yeah.
Oh, mom gives me $50 a week and I can buy a stock a week or a month for
$50 a week. But yes.
I'm just saying. Yes. Hey, so I need to know how much money. I'm sorry that I switched, but this is so serious. I had to ask this on social media too. How much money do you give your son for lunch? So we give our son, we spend at least $25,
I was gonna say, if you're talking about the school lunch, I'm pretty sure they're serving lobster, because I was doing the $25 a week draft. And every Friday I was getting a notification of a low balance alert. And I was like, don't you be going in there buying the folks no chips. Don't you be buying no extra drinks. I had to go in there and cut up. And I was like, there's no way this lunch tray is the same price as Chick-fil-A.
Oh my God.
It's
not. So I'm not the only one.
No.
I would ask myself, when I grew
every
up,
now and then, though,
40
we do
cents.
a couple weeks of peanut butter and jelly.
See, to keep them honest.
Yeah, you have to. Or skip a couple breakfasts. We doing breakfast at home or something like that. Because sometimes I get annoyed when that low balance alert comes. And I'm like,
wow.
I haven't eaten out $25 worth of lunches today. Y'all are feeding somebody's stomach who's the size of his fist. His, not mine.
Lobsters, steaks.
What are y'all putting in there?
Gotta be something.
If that's all it can hold, what are y'all feeding?
Oh, this costs us $20 per. Nah, what happened to the old school lunch pizzas and all that kind of stuff?
That rectangular pizza. If y'all don't get that rectangular pizza and get out of my face, I know that thing is only 30 cents.
White milk or chocolate milk.
That's it. And they got a strawberry option now. And he be in there lit up. So I'm like, don't get the extra juices. And he was like, this is just a regular tray.
That's what I'm.
And I was like, it's no way.
I don't know. It popped in my head when you were saying that. It just popped in my head. Hold on. I need to ask her this. How much money are you spending?
That's why the parents I see dropping off in Tahoes and Escalades. That's why all 16 of their kids hop out with a lunchbox, because they would be paying $700 a week. I
believe it. I believe you got 4 or 5 kids going to the same school.
You don't eat lunch at school. Nope. Or y'all got to share the tray.
$200 a day trying to break that.
Roll, one nugget for you.
Who getting the chocolate milk today? Who getting it? Because seriously, man, I'm looking. We giving my son money. I'm like, where is this money going to? Either free lunch or reduced lunch going
on. The way that they have it online, it's just another thing coming out of your account now. And so I'm like, and then they have it where it'll send you an email, and if you want to reload, you can just do it from a click of a button. I'd be mad. So sometimes on Fridays we eat breakfast at home, say the last of whatever's in there for lunch.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go down that trip, but it just kind of ran me high when I started looking this dude $5-10. It's nothing.
You know what'll really make you mad? Do the max that they allow you to put on it. So last year, I think it's $150 is all they allow you to put on their account at a time. I don't know that that's still the same. But I was like, you know what? Let me put $150 on, and that way I ain't got to worry about it. And I feel like an hour went by, and I got a low balance alert. I was like, nah, I got to keep going. I got to go back to the $25 increments, because this felt like it came back around just fast.
Deposit accepted and low balance at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah. You got to be in there making it rain or something in there.
No, I'm not buying anything for nobody. And I'm like,
buying bottles for each section.
I'm trying to figure out, are you buying your teacher lunch? What are we doing? If you buying grades,
hey, if you buying grades, okay, let's see what we can do.
Because then we're paying for 2 things at once. But if it's just lunch,
no,
I promise you, I think we only got through the first month of school last year, and that notification came the second week of the second month. And I was like,
nah, I'm not putting $150 on nobody's books. No. especially a kid that's 7 years old. Nah.
What are you
take
eating?
This peanut
and then
butter
the thing that's
sandwich.
really annoying is I know how he eats. So I know sometimes He just ate the hot dog, no bun.
So he's not even in the full meal. It's like, I want this, I don't want that.
No, ma'am, I'm going to need a refund on the rest of his tray.
You need these apples over here in order to eat this pizza, so I need that.
No, and that fruit cup, he didn't put that back for somebody else and subtract that from... I promise you, I know how he picks over stuff. So
man.
I know it wasn't $7 worth of a meal. It couldn't have been.
Yeah.
It's like $6.25 or something else.
I don't know. I had to get that out because it's just like, nah, lunch today. I think it's
$6.25 a day. $1.25 for the breakfast and then $5 for the lunch. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Just end it with that. Like, I don't like it. No. But yeah.
We got good notes on stocks, beginning stocks. As far as insurance, if I'm like, I still don't trust insurance, I'm not ready to put my money into large investments of the insurance, what is something that you would recommend 3 things that people could focus on? Or
I'll go back to the go-to, which is what's your passion, right? Like whatever your passion is, because really you need to figure out what your passion is. What is the thing that you love to do the most, and in that create some form of business or some form of money, avenue that allows you to grow that in some kind of capacity. Because if you hook up your passion thing that you love with somehow connecting that with a monetary situation, it's better than, or to me, it might not be better than everybody, but to me it's better than going to a 9-to-5 job. Because at least you love what you do versus
it is better.
Versus I have to do what I have to do.
It's better.
But that's what I'm saying. And that's what I even if I have to do, 10 hours a day for something that I'm passionate about versus, I only got to work 8 hours a day over here is something I hate, but they may pay me more.
Oh, yeah.
It still feels better over here. Like it doesn't feel like I'm mentally drained or physically drained when I'm doing what I love to do.
I think less violently now that I work for myself. The thoughts that come across your mind.
So that's okay. So that's what you're saying. The problem in the world or the U.S. is that because because we work at a place we do not love, we think more violently in that manner.
Absolutely.
So if we did what we were passionate about,
a place of outrage when people did stuff crazy. Why would you do that to those innocent people on it? They hated that job too, right? Like that was my thought. Like, why would you do that? And then I started seeing this stuff happen. I was like, that manager was probably talking bad to him. Like that one. And I was like,
both sides of it.
I hated those thoughts, but that's what comes like, I bet you they was in there talking bad to somebody. Like I remember working at a warehouse in Dallas. And it was Amazon. I remember working in this warehouse, and I remember this older guy. He was having like the worst of days. And this is a, the unofficial almost warehouse where people brought their own box knives. Like you could go in and out. There was no security. There were no turnstiles.
Might not.
Yeah, like people could come in late. There's no proof. Yeah, like it was real ghetto in nature. It was. And I remember this supervisor was getting in this guy's face, and he didn't realize that, like, he ain't been working. If you ain't gonna do no work, then you can go home because we don't want you here, and this and that. And it's weird because this is somebody who, like, always performed.
Yeah. And,
like, when they were like, hey, it's, your guy got the manager in the truck with a knife up to his throat.
No.
Right? And I was like, who? And they told me who, and I was like, oh, his wife just had a miscarriage last night. That's on, look, and I was like,
that's
look,
on that
so I was like,
nothing to do with that.
So, like, did y'all want to call 911 or?
Let's keep this work day going. That's on him. He knew better than that.
I was
talking
like,
to people crazy.
They make you violent.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking like,
and what y'all want me to do about it? Like,
I mean, it seems like.
Y'all still on the clock standing
around. Has made a reaction, so
I guess so. Yeah,
you learn a lesson.
For me, like I don't say I was violent, but I was always looking for a way out. Like, and that's why I point to what's
like
your
an
passion.
Underground railroad.
Yeah, like seriously, like an underground.
Absolutely.
What's my escape route? Like I've got to figure it out. And so every day that I went to work at a place that I did not like, I was like, how do I get out of this place? Or how do I make this situation at least better to where I can focus on other things? And I had to figure out what my passions were. I had to figure out how do I monetize those passions. And even if it's not a passion, it may just be a talent or a gift or something that you can.
And honestly, it could just be not wanting to be at work.
But that's what I'm saying. Enough. I was just, if you can leverage something that you would rather do than be at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this rather do thing may not even be something that you're passionate about, but it's just better than your actual job, whatever that is. And so therefore you would leverage that and figure out how can I make a business, a company, a side hustle, something out of that to at least build, money on the side, my little stash. They can go into stock, they can go into real estate. They can go into, I got a few buddies, they make money off of real estate and they make money off of stocks and they do all these things, but they make real money. I started from simply saying, I've got $50. What am I going to do with it? And then they poured into from stocks, they poured into doing my own business. And then from my own business, it moved into real estate. So I started the slow way.
You've even grown in insurance and
but all that's of those exactly. Things. So all that came from trying to figure out what is this? What is this all about? And how do I build from it? So it's going to start slow. And again, that's when my son was born. I was like, I got to do something other than just this.
This rat race, for sure. I promise you, work. That was enough. And then Angie was ex-military. Right. They said, he had some gravity knife. Look, guys, I don't need to know all the specifics.
I just understand.
What I'm saying is,
I get that.
Are all of you going to go back to work? Because that will settle itself out.
Oh, man.
And he came, he came back. He was the guy who was mentally attacked, was solid. And he was a good, he was level-headed, he would stay late, he would clock out and finish up what he was supposed to do. All of the things that you could expect from somebody. So when people have off days who aren't normally off,
you gotta question.
You have to question it. It can't just be that you're so used to browbeating, or otherwise you get a knife to your throat, and the only manager there that can help you is not in a hurry. I don't know what to say.
So you guys tell us, does work make you violent? If so, I get it. It didn't make me violent, but it did make me want to extend.
It was the thoughts. It was the thoughts to me that were violent that I would have never had before. Things that I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. It just gave me violent thoughts, and it made me wish that, I just wasn't there all the time. And that was enough for me to put in, my passion into real estate and dig into it more and even get into real estate. So for me, for real estate, I would say the first thing that people need to figure out is how much, this kind of along the line of what you said, how much they're willing to budget for this thing. And if it is that you made your decision, you're going to house hack, you're going to buy your house, you're going to live in it, you're going to fix it up, you're going to rent it out, then you're going to buy another house, cool. Right? That's your thing. But you have to decide so that you could build that budget